Yeah, we haven't made
Highway
it down there yet.
54. All right, here we are. We're live. I think everybody can see us. Hi, everybody. Dan here
Hey,
with the Chief Experts in the Designer Show, on with John and Aaron Rose. Hey, Aaron Rose.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty well.
Cool.
Looking forward to the summit.
Renee and Robin will not be here. Renee is out skiing somewhere down some snowy slope, and Robin is on her way to the K-Biz Builder Show to, I believe she's going to win some big awards. So she could tell us all about it after the show. But cool. And everybody, welcome to the show. I'm up to balmy 18 here in Minnesota. Things are looking good. You were just saying, Aaron, that it is snowing or has been snowing in the Outer Banks.
Saw it on the news, and it's balmy 65 here in Tampa.
Cool.
Probably warmed up. I need to open my windows. Cold enough.
All right. We've got some people logging in. Jeff, Kenny, Richard, you guys, thanks for being here. Borges, Lenny. Oh, I'm missing lots of names. Nikki, how you doing? So thanks for being here. Nothing much going on today. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I got a to-do list that I cannot get done. You guys probably don't relate to that stuff. Zoom is not working now. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the summit. And basically what I wanted to do is share some of the things that people have gotten out of the summit. I don't know why my thing won't focus. There it goes. And share some thoughts about that, because the time we spend together has been phenomenal, and I'd like to share some of those moments with people. So, and if you haven't heard us talk about before, the summit is coming up in 3 weeks. I think it was
really close.
It was where'd it go here? 23 days, 21 hours, 57 minutes, 59 seconds. So it's coming up really fast. It's like poof, all of a sudden it's just about here. I mean, we've been planning this for a year now, and it's amazing. Time flies. Anyway, but let's get back into it and let's talk a little bit about the summit. I want to start though, because I have a favorite thing I want to share and see if this resonates with people. So, John, John, you made yourself big. Oh, lost your audio, John. Did I admit you?
Yeah, I'm going to call another guest that's having trouble getting hooked up. So we gone.
Oh, Margaret. Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay. This was 2 years ago when we had our summit. And Aaron, I think you were in the room during that one. And we were having one of our evening business meetings, which we have every night. We do chief architect stuff all day long, and we have a nice dinner, and then we go back to the room for about an hour to talk shop, talk about business, talk about things that really matter to everybody. And so so one of the guys, John, is an architect. He was in the room, and I forget what the exact topic was, but I think we were just talking about, everybody come up with a topic of something that you struggle with in your business. And John came up with one that still resonates with me today, called Imposter Syndrome. Remember that, Aaron, when he talked about that? He was pretty emotional, and I think many of us were after we got talking about that, because of the imposter syndrome thing that we all go through in our business. I still struggle with it. I mean, charging for what I do and the value I bring to everything I do. It's just like, I'm this little guy from Minnesota. I'm this guy from Minnesota. I grew up in a little town. I'm always nice to people. And if I put in extra time on a job, it doesn't feel right to charge for that. So I still struggle with things like that. I don't know if you call that imposter syndrome or something like that, but yeah, I mean, the value we bring to the marketplace, to the industry, and sometimes we feel like we don't deserve that. And I see it all the time with contractors, maybe not so much anymore, but it's still out there. You just don't feel like you deserve to get compensated or to be treated the way you should be for the things that you're doing. Can you relate to that? Remember that, Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
still suffer from it.
That was a great discussion that we had. And I don't know if you guys on the call here, if you want to chat in, if you guys deal with that at all, struggle with that at all, put something in the chat about how you deal with that. So how do you deal with that, Aaron? You just charge 3 times as much, right? You said heck with it.
I still suffer from it. In fact, I just had it this morning, oddly enough, where,
Really?
yeah, project was going swimmingly, and then, mistake on the drawings, and we have to do something with the foundation now, and it's a big kerfluffle at the moment. And I think, gosh, do I know what I'm doing? And I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just when there is a moment where you made a mistake, or there is a mistake, and you're talking with the rest of your team and your GC and how to fix it, and everyone has a different opinion, I start to question myself and say, well, maybe they're right. Maybe we should just fix it this way. So it happens to me regularly. I have the blessing of having been a tax preparer for 12 years, so I have a very easy time telling people, give me money. And I don't have a problem with defending the value of my work or feeling bad about it, because I already went through it being a tax preparer. I went through that process already. But yeah, it is, I remember that. And it was very tough to convince myself of my value. And
someone asked to define imposter syndrome. So I just went to chat.
okay.
I said, what is imposter syndrome? And this is what it came back with. It's when someone doubts their ability to or accomplishments and has a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud despite evidence of their competence. It often leads people to feel inadequate or unworthy of their achievements, even when they're skilled and successful in their field. It's surprisingly common, affecting many high achievers. So there you go. I think that's a really good definition. It really fits what we talked about. So for me, that was a big one in all the things we've done. I don't know why when I post a comment, it comes up with everybody. It's kind of weird. So you guys probably got that comment a whole bunch of times. Anyway, so massive issue, imposter syndrome. I'm constantly suffering from it, still working through it. Well, speaking of imposter, but not a syndrome.
Oh, like it popped my face up.
No. Kevin just joined us. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
He's impersonating a cabinet again.
Huh?
He's impersonating a cabinet.
Yeah, or a stairway or a light fixture. Or Hi, Kevin.
How is everybody?
Everybody's great. Glad you
Good.
could make it. We were just talking about, I was just sharing one of my biggest takeaways from any of the Beating Summits group sessions that we've ever had. And I bet you can guess what it was based on that comment.
I'm guessing it had to do with the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, John Jones, when he brought that discussion up. So we were just talking about that a little bit. And
I just wish everybody could have been there the night before when the topic came up. There's no way for me to describe it. Just know that there's so much fun that happens after hours. And by the time that John remembered that name, imposter syndrome, he was rolling on the floor, laughing and hiding behind the island, trying to get his stuff back together again. And we were all guessing at what he might be thinking of and what that name was, and nobody could figure it out. And
yeah,
the stuff that inspires the next day is awesome.
Yeah. So, Borges here, been involved in post-frame for 12, 13 years. Is he qualified to start a business post-frame? Yeah, I think with that much experience, you're probably pretty qualified. So, in there, that's just, sometimes you just got to go for it and see what happens. But keep in mind that yeah, you probably know a whole lot more about it than you think you do.
I think
So-
you're qualified to start a business anytime that you can meet a need that somebody has.
Yeah.
And you can do it on your own.
Well, let me extend that. You're qualified to start a business anytime you can meet a need more than once. So it's one thing to be able to do it. It's another thing to be able to do it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Right. And
I mean, I started.
people have different levels of need too.
Yeah.
Like might be able to start a business working with people who work exactly the way they do. But if somebody has more need, they might not be able to meet that need, but they can meet the need of the people that work the way that they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I started in this industry when I was right out of high school. I really didn't have any business being a remodeling contractor because I had no business experience, but I was a damn good carpenter. All through high school, I could build anything you wanted and do it well. So for that part of it, I had no problem with. But running a business, that was a whole different story. So I had to learn a few things. But over the years, that's what we do. We just figure it out. That's one of the things that makes all of us builders and remodelers and designers so valuable to what we do. We're good at figuring stuff out. Really good at it.
Really good at it.
Yeah. Aaron.
Having met Mr. Voorhees, that he's really good at figuring things out. So there's a good a lot of strength there. Mike makes a really good point, saying that let's jump over here.
Oh, okay. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, that what they're doing, what your clients are doing, is they're choosing you. Above all else, they're choosing you. If you already know that you've got a product that is marketable, and there's people looking for that particular product, they're picking you. So you come with whatever value that they want. And I think that's a really strong point.
Yeah. Aaron.
Yes.
Because you've been to our events a number of times. This will be your third one coming up, I think. You attended. No, this will be you attended the summit in 23. You attended
They're all
in 20,
fun, so, yeah.
You said, yeah, and then in 24, and then you came to Minnesota for a class we were doing.
So I'm at 3.5.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You're coming again this year.
Yes.
So why?
Every year I learn something new, and I can not only run between rooms, depending on what I want to learn, but then, if I wake up at 6 a.m. and somebody else is up at 6 a.m., we're talking cheap over breakfast and we're talking business. I mean, it's the opportunity for me is to solve problems from the moment I wake up and walk out my door until I walk back in it, if I choose to do so. And I can't really put a price tag on that. Or I can just, play left, right, center and have fun and play poker and stuff. But it always ends up like, oh yeah, I had that problem in Chief too. And you might scurry off with your new friend and go grab your laptop and start banging away at a problem. And then John will walk by and you're like, hey, John, we can't do this or something. There's so much knowledge there that I've done a lot of in-person training over my lifetime of multiple different careers. And this is by far the most engaging, the best return on my investment. And it's the only one that's been enjoyable.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Just throw back to the other one, sitting through 4 days straight of IRS training for 8 hours, not fun.
No, yeah.
And not knocking accountants, but we're not a big party bunch. So
there's another market, Dan. There's another market we could do. How to make IRS training fun.
No, but I look forward to coming to the summit every year, and that's why I'm going to come every year. I know it's worth it. I know I'm going to also enjoy myself. It never feels like a chore. It feels like kind of a mental vacation because I'm learning and having a good time.
No, mental vacation. That's kind of comical considering that we are deeply immersive and you learn a lot.
Right. That's why it's so strange. I thought, gosh, I was a little, there's a lot of trepidation when I first went because this is a lot. 10 days straight of learning. I'm going to die. And I didn't. I came back and I was like, yeah, I can't wait to go again because there's so much engagement and it's pleasant and it's not barked at you. And you have the ability to stop someone and say, hey, I'm stuck. Can I get help, instead of just someone fire hosing you with information and you have to catch it all.
Yeah, good point.
That's really big, to be able to flag down what there's usually the person on either side of you. You're like, hey, how did you do that? And they can show you really quickly. Or if you really get stuck, you just raise your hand and John or Kevin or whoever is in roaming mode will come to help you. And then you have lunch break, snack break, all the breaks to just flag somebody and say, hey, I saw that you got this. Can you help me with this?
Yeah.
And I have yet to have anybody tell me no.
So, yeah, true. And the food's not bad either.
It's fantastic. That's why for me it's a vacation, because I'm single. Anytime somebody else cooks for me, I'm like, woohoo. So 10 days straight of somebody else cooking is the best.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So John, you've been to all these events now. What do you keep seeing? What kind of good advice can you share with our people on the call about things that a topic or a thing that you've learned through all of this? Not that it's super duper one fun, but give me you got any examples?
Thinking back to when I first started coming to your classes that you held, it was good to see different processes of things and to start understanding how the tools worked. But the biggest thing for me was repetitiveness. I came to like 3 of your classes, and then I asked you if I could start helping.
Yeah.
You brought me on. It was probably another 3 or 4 times before I really started grasping what chief work was and how it worked and how the tools worked and that kind of stuff. So repetitive training is, to me, is for my personality and the way I learn, is really important.
Yeah. I take that for granted a little bit sometimes because I've used it so much. But you're right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on in that software now. And with anything that we do in our business, I mean, repetitive training is huge.
Yeah. We joked a couple times ago about how you've grown up with the program, and I started probably about the middle from where it's at now, and how I felt the pain of learning Chief, and you didn't really feel that same pain because you learned the tools gradually as they went. And there can be a lot of pain in learning the program because you think it should do something, but it doesn't, or what in the world did I put in the way here that's making that wall do that, that kind of thing. So
yeah. And we still do that. I mean, that's part of the problem solving process that we go through.
Right.
And that's part of the interesting thing for a new user to watch is somebody will throw up a problem and we can find possibly a few different ways to do it and then whittle it down. I noticed that watching that process kind of makes me understand better how Chief thinks, or how the program's written, how it's going to behave by watching like 3 different people go at the same problem in a different way, but come up with a solution.
To me, if you were to ask me that question, Dan, ask me that question. Kevin, what do you take out of our multiple sessions that we've ever had together? The thing that I would say is the light bulb moments, the times when those who came intimidated all of a sudden understand, or those who raised a question and all of us are scratching our heads and suddenly you've got not only 4 answers, but 4 different answers that accomplish the same thing in different ways, as Aaron said. And you begin to realize the real power and the potential, not only of the software, but of the network that you're building with the people there, and the different ways people approach the use of chief architect for whatever they're doing. It's really fascinating. And sometimes those light bulb moments actually happen, clearly to new attendees and things, but they happen to us as well.
Yeah.
I think it's more fascinating. Light bulb goes off for Dan.
On that topic with Mike, what Mike just brought up here, I think one of the funnest thing about doing teaching training is when something doesn't work, and then, okay, well, let's figure out why it's not working. Okay. And let's figure out a solution to make it work. Okay. We were just doing that the other day in our call with Rob, and how do you do these crazy things on a wall? Right. And we came up with 3-4 different ideas on how you could do it.
Yeah.
Boom. Any one of them will work just fine. So that's what makes it a lot of fun. And that's part of what makes Chief so fun. There's always a way to figure something out one way or another. So, and I always teach, and I want everybody on call to take this to heart, because Chief is a CAD program. It is not a program that is really building a house on your computer. Looks like it is, but it's not. It's a bunch of 3D digital boxes that interact with each other. And Chief's done a good job of programming tools to make it seem like you're building a house. But if you think of it more in a CAD sense with XYZ and how is this box interacting with this box, and why is this box doing what it's doing, and why is this line acting like that? If you kind of think of it like that, think about it like a programmer, or like a programmer's thought process of how to make boxes interact with each other. Sometimes it's easier to solve problems within the program.
Right.
So,
one of the things that actually was a turning point for me was in a late night conversation with Renee one night, and I was talking about some particular tool within Chief, and call it cabinets since that's his favorite thing. But
yeah.
but I was reading the question about it, saying that I don't know how to do this. This doesn't make sense, or whatever. And he said, you've got to stop thinking of the cabinets as cabinets. You've got to just start thinking of them as the greatest tool within Chief Architect. How can I use it?
Yeah.
And so that, of course, if you guys have seen his magic with cabinets, and everything's a cabinet, a shoe is a cabinet, that he's mastered the art of looking beyond the surface. As Dan says, it's not a house; it's a CAD program that looks like a house, and he's and that really turned the corner for me.
Yeah, cool.
That kind of goes along with this comment here. That I talked him out of trying to trick Chief Architect, but there's always a solution. If you start thinking of the tools as, okay, this is a wall tool, but maybe it's something else, or this is a cabinet tool, but maybe it can something else too.
Yeah.
You're not tricking it. You're just changing the function sometimes.
Exactly. That's what I mean. There are things, if your intent is to end up creating an accurate framing drawing, then you don't want to build everything out of 3D solids because they don't frame. But depending on your intent, there's a lot that you can get out of bending the tool to your wishes.
Mm-hmm.
So look who just joined us.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad. I bet you he has no, what is that syndrome thing about his mustache? That's a real deal there, man.
It is a real deal. Go on, take it off. Show us it was always a fake.
Chad, how are you? That's a world award-winning mustache, buddy. How you doing, Chad? Nice to see you.
Are you there?
Oh, we got no audio.
Chad, speak to us, buddy.
Your audio's, go to your settings, Chad, and check your audio. There's the settings button down at the bottom there. Just say something when you get her figured out. Who said this? Steve, 6 years since the last time I was at. Yeah, Steve, we miss you too, man.
Yeah.
You just like that Vegas one when it snowed when we were in Vegas. I don't know. I built a snowman in Vegas. For Pete's sake.
That was 2019, I think.
Yeah. All right, Chad, you got your speaker going in the background along with a mic. So go ahead and talk, and then we'll just mute you between. You can mute yourself between comments, Chad. Say hi, Chad. Still not working. Dang it. Getting the audio, but not the video.
Well, you can't tell because you can't see his mouth moving.
Yeah.
Read my lips.
There we go. Hey.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah,
Okay.
In fact,
problem.
we can mute ourselves
Okay,
too
good.
when he's talking. So Chad,
So out of echo.
you're good. Yeah, you're good. You were to our summit last year. Was that the first time?
Mhm.
I think it was. Yeah.
Second time.
You've been second time. Okay, that's what I thought. And you're building a house this year. I understand. How's it coming?
Well, it could be better.
Didn't hire the right contractor.
Labor's
huh?
killing me.
Oh,
Labor's killing me. It's all over the place, and it's hard to. I just got off a call even with our overhead door guy, and he's coming back at me and says, "Well, it's going to cost a little bit more. It's going to cost a little bit more." And as much as you argue it, you're stuck. You know, you really can't when you're set in motion. So a lot of overruns and really been pretty frustrating.
no, I can only imagine. I imagine every contractor out there is going through the same damn thing. I can't believe what things are costing these days.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a topic of discussion at the summit, is how we're going to deal with that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Because it's a big issue. So how do you deal with that? I mean, you do contract. You're a contractor too, right? You're building other than just your house.
Yeah. And so primarily, I'm a remodeler, and from small projects, it's easier. But as they get bigger, you're detailing and really specifying every last detail. Just it's very labor intensive, and that's a lot of what I work with Chief and try to bring other products in to do the listing, and even more now because it's burning me personally.
Yeah.
That I need to identify, create the every little notation so that the contractors out there who are very expensive but don't seem to be able to think for themselves, so they know what to do.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to change the industry about how you set up the jobs? I mean, one of the big things I've always talked to people about are, purchase orders and, getting all your bids before you start the project and things like that. And again, that comes back to having a good plan. With a good plan, maybe you could do a lot more of that. Are you doing more of that?
Well, yeah, I do get everything ahead of time, but it just seems like everybody has a reason why they're not going to stick to their number, and so I obviously look for ways to improve on that. I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bit on the grumpy side with the whole thing, so maybe I got a lot of good subs who do stick to their numbers, and we work well. But it just seems like there's a lot of, I wasn't thinking about that, I wasn't intending on that, and they gotta get the job done, and if it's a legitimate cost, well, we will pay it.
I mean, there's always a certain amount of
Listed ahead of time, and
a certain amount of oversight on every job. I mean, changes, things that you just don't realize are happening, especially in remodeling. So
I came from it to where my intent was, I'm going to tell you what I want built, but I shouldn't have to tell you how to build it. But now it seems like I've been doing more projects where I've almost had to tell them how to build it in order to get it completed correctly.
Yeah.
I think it's generational change.
I think you're right. That and the labor force out there. I mean, they don't teach it in high school anymore, for Pete's sake. So we're getting a late start, although it's coming back, but it's taking a long time to get into the high schools.
I think so. But we have the new technology and YouTube, and when you're on the job and you see a guy doing a project that's charging premium price, and he's trying to figure it out from videos on the YouTube on the job, it gets pretty nerve-wracking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens.
But at least there's videos to look at.
That's true.
That's helpful. At least he's smart enough to figure out,
There's some sort of guidance.
Yeah. I do that every time I work on a stupid car. Let's go look it up.
It gets worrisome when they pick up the wrong end of the hammer, though. It's what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Our charge is $75, $80 an hour.
Yeah.
Something outlandish.
So
yeah.
But
changing the subject a little bit, us old guys, is there anything that we can do to help the younger generation learn how to think through stuff? First, my question is, we can give them so much information out of cheap. We can basically build it for them. But is that really helping them? Is that helping them problem solve and that kind of thing? What can we do? Got to pass it on.
Listen to the silence. The
Hey,
challenge.
Chad, could you, when you're not talking, could you click on the microphone to mute it? We're getting the feedback through your speakers. Perfect. Thank you.
The challenge, I think there's a disconnect not only in terms of what we've done from an educational system, like Dan said, removed it from the educational system so no one learns the trades or the value of the trades, but there's also the challenge that you bring up right there, which is when you talk about how do the old guys help the young guys, how do we help people become better at what they're doing, it's also crossing the boundary of how can we as designers somehow help a carpenter or plumber get better at carpentry and plumbing. And that's I think the reason for the silence is I'm not sure that chasm can be crossed without there being I was a designer builder, so I had that experience, as did you, John, and
Right.
All of us, actually, all four of us on the currently on stage. So
I think back to when I would get a set of blueprints from an architect. The information on it was minimal. I was forced to think through what was going to happen and how it had to go together. I had an architect. I heard a story about an architect that came on the job one time. He had designed this elaborate entryway that had a really cool ceiling and roof on it and stuff like that. He walks in the front door and he looks up and he says, "Oh, that's what that's supposed to look like." So we used to get these drawings on paper that had, like I said, minimal information. So we were forced to think through it. So is there anything as designers we can do to help to force people to force the tradesmen to think through what they're looking at?
Yeah, I'd like to extend that also to the planning review board. It would be nice for them to also have some experience and be able to think through things. You get so many requests back for every minute detail to be detailed out on the plans. Some of these people should know what they're doing.
Well, that's, part of when you, as a contractor, I was a small contractor, so I worked on my jobs a lot. So I didn't need as much of a plan because I knew what I was going to build. But when you're handing off something to someone else, yeah, you got to have a lot more detail or meet with them every day, to answer questions. So what were you going to say? Someone was going to say something.
Well, I experience, if you look at, for instance, the trades, they get broken up themselves, where in the past I would have my carpenters do a small drywall patch on a project, minimal work. Now you bring in a drywaller, but you don't necessarily, because you have drywall hangers and drywall finishers and you got the texture guys, and so they're segmented up so many versus guys being able to do the whole project.
Yeah,
and that also forces the designers to be able to have to segment these things out in the information flow,
which is unfortunate in itself. I mean, I think having a jack of all trades available to you is a very valuable commodity when you're building something. There's, some of the larger builders put that in the hands of the supervisors and things to come in and be able to finish up the trim or the drywall or whatever it is that where there's some mistakes made and need to be patched. But when we have to turn to the specialist for every single detail, it does becomes problematic.
Yeah. I like this comment here. Had a contractor's license for a few years, but now just a designer. I'm just a designer. We talked about that at the summit too. You're just a designer, huh? The most important cog in the wheel of the whole freaking project. So you're more than just a designer. So keep that in mind too when it comes to this imposter syndrome stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, take that word out of that sentence.
Get rid of the just out of it. You're a designer, and a very good one at that. So thanks, Damon. I appreciate that comment. Sorry to pick on it. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. So
And Mike.
Get the framers to do it. You know, I remember back in the day, we used to joke all the time. It's just like, you know, you'd be framing something and you'd say, yeah, a good drywall can fix it.
Yeah.
And then the drywall would say, yeah, a good painter can fix it. Yeah.
And that poor painter always ends up holding the bag for every mistake everybody else made.
Yeah. Anyway, and then there was the old, it's good enough for government work if you're working on a government job.
Yeah.
Although these days, yeah,
Right.
all got to be good.
That was
Anyway.
that was the kiss of death for me, was that if somebody said it looked good from their house, they were never working for me again. That was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mentor's favorite phrase, and he was an excellent carpenter, excellent craftsman. He taught me so much stuff. His favorite phrase was, well, we ain't building no liquor store.
Okay.
Whatever, or let's just foop it in there, you know. I mean, his foofing was perfect, you know. But anyway.
So, speaking of the summit, I want to show you guys something real quick. I think you guys will like this. I'm going to, oops, I need to turn on my screen. John, can you share my screen?
Yep.
I just was looking at this last night. So here's some people that were at our summit last year.
They're very small.
Can you see them?
Yep.
Well, if I put on my readers.
Oh, maybe go full screen, John. But anyway, it's fun to keep a contact list, and I know a lot of these guys have gone back and forth talking to each other. So many of us have become really good friends over the years, and it's really cool to do that. So I thought I'd just share this with you. Got everybody's contact information. There's our week 2 from the year 2023 year. that was murder, doing 2 summits in a row. There's good old John, the guy that brought up that topic. So, but what a great group of people. I mean, we've all just had so much fun together. It's like we were, the second you meet each other, you're instant friends because you got so much in common to talk about. And that was really cool. So this was our first week of the 23 summit. Anyway, I thought I'd just share that. It was kind of fun. Good group of people, and looking forward to doing it again this year. There's 2 spots left in the Black Stallion in the big house. If you're interested, join us. We've got 2 rooms left. If you're, after that, we've got a few more rooms in the house right next door. So, but we've got room there. So, looking to have a good group. So, really appreciate you guys. If you have questions, feel free to give any of us a call. I'd love to talk to you about it and love to meet you at the summit. There was a comment about the Pro Academy too. Still working on a bunch of stuff. I've got some really cool things coming, so be patient with me. I was hoping I'd have some stuff done in January, but it's taken me a lot longer to get everything finished that I'm trying to work on. So doing a big project and having fun with it. It's good to be back in the let's get some stuff done mode. I haven't done that for quite a number of years as far as creating new products. So I'm excited about that. It's fun to help.
Is there anything new coming up this year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're building on things we did last year. Chad, you'll automatically get some of the stuff I'm working on, especially I think you're part of the Pro Academy. And I know Renee, I was just going through our schedule here. Let me share my screen again. And we were talking, are you sharing my screen, John?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I was going through, we got our schedule that we're working on putting together for the whole summit because we have a lot going on. And let me just reduce the size of this just a tad. Where's that? Where'd it go?
It's a concentric. You can just use the C button and.
Yeah, no, it's CJ actually, concentric jump. Or just do the control key. I just added Jolene to our calendar. So these are all of us that will be teaching. So Kevin and Judy will be teaching business classes. Jolene's going to be teaching marketing, SEO, and yoga. She'll be doing yoga. Renee when he mentioned he put 4 hours into doing his schedule the other day for the summit, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, what did he do? And then I go over to his tab and I realized that, oh, yeah, look at Renee's schedule. This guy, he's nailed it, man. This is really cool. So for you advanced users, Renee has put together a really nice schedule for what he's going to be talking about. I'll be doing the same thing for the intermediate users, putting together my schedule. So the first 3 days we'll be talking about, we'll kind of split up and we each have our own topics we'll be talking about. And you can go back and forth all day long if you want to. Robin will be doing some things about kitchen design, more beginner. And I know, John, you'll be working one-on-one with people if they need help on beginner stuff. So, but he's doing advanced foundations and staircases and drafting system. And Renee's got a lot of stuff. And then we're all kind of going to come together on day 7. And this will be after our day off. So day 6 is a day off. And we're going to all talk about rendering and materials and symbols and all of those things that really make your plans pop. And Renee was showing us a plan the other day. It's just like, man, he's good. He's really good. I mean, he makes what I do look silly. So, but I'm happy with what I do because it gets the job done. So I'm not complaining. Anyway, so hats off to Renee. I wish he was on the call today because Renee, if you happen to rewatch this, which I know he won't, good job. So that's kind of fun to look at that. So that's what you guys will have to look forward to is, that kind of content coming to the summit. And I don't know if many of you guys have probably been on some of Renee's calls and some of the things he's talked about. He's good. He's really good at what he does. It's hard to follow sometimes, but he's really good at what he does. And he knows we joke with him all the time about that. And we all joke with each other all the time. We each have our own place of what we like to do here. Other comments or questions? Anybody? Anything?
Jeff thinks that we should hold the next event on the left coast.
That's going to be an option. So we will talk about that.
Or right in the middle.
Or right in the middle. We can have it at Chad's.
Chad, where would that be in the middle that would work?
Near me. Yeah. Yeah. We got all kinds of fun things to do here. Great support. Everybody can get here easily. Good.
Pretty much doesn't get any.
I'm in Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield. So this is a good comment, Mike. There's a limit to how much I feel comfortable letting Chief be automated versus having total control. And again, with Chief's a CAD program, treat it like such. The automated function in the program is there to get you started, there to get you some ideas, there to get something put in place. It's going to get 0 to 100% of your roof correct. I always get a chuckle out of that when I teach that in a class. Everybody goes, oh yeah, that's true. But it's gotten a lot better. So and plus when you know the steps to take before you add your roof, right. Oh, okay. Now I can get closer to 90, 95%. Just tweak a few little things.
Yeah, if you just understand how roofing works, if you understand how the structure works, you can't just put a 4-pitch slope against an 8-pitch slope on the same wall and have them meet at the gutter. It isn't going to happen. So there's some basic construction things there that are good to understand too.
Right. So, here we go. Norman is going to invite us to New Zealand. We'll only come if you feed us that big fish. We had mind blank. What was her name? Who brought the fish from Alaska? Terrible.
Your face.
It'll come in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she brought a cooler full of salmon that she caught personally because that's her business in Alaska part-time, and she does design part-time to our Las Vegas summit one time. It was phenomenal. It was really
now let's extend that. Yeah, Nina,
thank you. That just popped into my head too. Thank you.
To extend that, she is the captain of her ship and fishes all through the warm season, and then it goes back to her mountain lodge in the cold season and does design. So she's quite an interesting individual.
She
Love
really
that.
is fun. Just a wonderful person. And I still will never forget the time at the Spanish Mansion in Las Vegas. We spent the Thursday night just rolling. We were telling jokes to each other. It was, my gut hurt. We were laughing so much.
Yes.
That was fun. Anyway, so it's not all work. There's a lot of play that goes on. We do have a lot of fun. Any questions? Anybody on the call have a question about the summit? Anything that we could answer for you right now? Please feel free to post it, and we'll have other things coming up. So
Can you tell we're getting excited about it?
Huh?
I said, can those of you watching tell that we're getting excited about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work putting it together, and there's a lot of details to organize, but I think we've got it down pretty well.
That's actually, Mike, that's not true. Kansas City does not have good barbecue. Kansas City has great barbecue.
I was a little worried you're in that comment there. What are you talking about? They do. John, isn't that where we were when we ate? We went out for dinner at one of the barbecue places. Is that Kansas?
I remember going with Kevin. This was probably back in 2016 or 17. And I had my first $50 steak, which would probably be $100 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was, I remember that was really, I think we did a NARI. We did some training at a NARI office there. And then one of the nights we went out to one of it's a big barbecue place. You served a lot of people.
I'd tell you what it was, but there's a couple of them here. So
yeah, I bet there's a couple. More exciting than Christmas. Yes, it is. It's equivalent of a staycation. A workation, not a staycation, a workation. Staycation is when you stay at home and work. A workation is when you come and we're still working hard. We're studying hard. We're exchanging ideas all day long, but we're having fun doing it. So it doesn't feel like work at all. That's what's really cool. So anytime you can find an event like that where you can, honest to God, you're getting work done, but you're having fun doing it. Yeah. You got a good thing going there.
Yeah.
So I remember, one of my questions I wrote down was, how did Chief help your business? Remember, I'm a guy that got version 1 of Chief Architect. My serial number was 94. And when I loaded that program with the 2 little diskettes on my computer, I think it was 2 diskettes. And it was at 1:00. And by 5:00, I had the house that I was doing a 2nd floor addition and a kitchen addition all laid out. Okay. It didn't have 3D in version 1. So I was just drawing floor plans. And I took my computer to my client's house that night, and we sat up till 2:00, moving things around and changing things. And again, no 3D at that point. We're just playing with floor plans, and we were having a ball. And that turned out to be an $80,000 job back in it was 1993. So that was a pretty big deal for me. And to say I was hooked is an understatement. So, and I'm sure there's lots of other stories out there of people that have had that experience with Chief Architect, just being able to use it to communicate their ideas with their clients in a way that words alone cannot do. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, that old picture's worth 1,000-word deal. Yeah, that's kind of true. So anything we can do to help everybody out there get better using this program to create better pictures, to learn how to communicate with it better. My number one thing I love to do is design with my clients on Zoom or in person. We're on Chief, moving things around, adding things, doing the things that we need to do. It's really fun. It makes it a lot easier to draw. And I hope a lot of guys out there are doing it. If you're not doing it, try it. It works. Even if you're not really good with Chief, you're going to get a lot of things kind of done. You're going to get the ideas through. And then you go back and fix it at your office. And then when you get back together again, now you move on to the next phase. So anyway.
Well, and you're talking about the technological side of it, as far as you ask about, does anybody have comments about the summit? And I'm gathering that this is pretty much a hour-long infomercial about the summit today. But one of the things that I'm there for is to say how you can use your knowledge of Chief to better your sales and your business and the way that you interview your clients and the approaches that you take to develop your plans and everything else. That's not necessarily about the technical prowess. It's about you and what you can learn to improve yourself.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're all doing every day anyway. We're trying to get a little bit better. So question from David. Yeah, Chief was on, it was actually called 3D Home Architect at the time by Broderbund, was on the shelf with Punch at the time. And is Punch still out there? I think Punch is still available, isn't it?
That was the first thing I ever bought.
Punch? Okay. I think I tried it and it's like, what the heck? I tried a lot of CAD software. I had been looking for a CAD program to use since the late 80s. Because I knew that's what I wanted to do, and partly because I didn't like drawing by hand, and my printing sucked. So anything I could do to improve that was a big thing. And I bought Cabinetware, I think it was. It was an AutoCAD add-on, and I spent 8 hours trying to draw a wall. And I decided, this wasn't going to work for me. So I just purchased a $1,500 paperweight.
That was different than 3D Home Architect, though, because 3D Home Architect worked just like Chief.
3D Home Architect was a subset of Chief Architect. In fact, in the version 2 of Chief Architect and 3D Home Architect, they were identical except for 6 features. There was 6 feature difference between the two. And I think one of them was the CAD tools to draw lines and things like that, which made was a big deal because I needed to draw sections and things like that. There was a big hook to Broderbund tried to take over. They tried to rip the software out of Jack Simpson's hands. I mean, because Jack was the guy that invented it, and he didn't sign a very good agreement with Broderbund. So they tried to take it away. And fortunately, he fought them really hard, and they were gone. And then he took Chief, and from version 3 on, the difference between the two softwares were significant. And even now today, you've got your 3D home, you got your Home Designer Pro for $600 or $700, whatever it is now, and you got your Chief Architect Premier. There's 1,300 icons in the Premier version. There's 600 icons, buttons in the Home version. So the differences are staggering. When you're still the $600 version, the Home Designer Pro, best value on the marketplace for a piece of software to draw buildings. It is phenomenal for the money that you pay, and what you can do with it. But if you're going to use it every day in a professional format like we do, you got to have the Premier version because it takes you to that next level where you can actually get things done. I'm going to say 6 times faster than the Premier Home version. So just little things like drawing with your right mouse button for walls. To me, that's huge because I draw everything with my right mouse button. And you can't do that with the Home version. A stupid little thing like that. It's a big deal. Anyway, I could go on and on about that, but
yeah,
still great value.
What's really cool about it is you can somewhat work together between the two. Not seamless.
Yeah.
You can work on both of them.
Yes, you can. You can exchange files back and forth. But if you're working in the Premier version with you've got all your plan views and layer sets and things like that, and you bring it into the Home version, you're only going to have that one layer set showing. That's all there is. So because the Home version only has one set of layers, you can't add or change it. You can't create plan views. It's just so much you can't do it. It's really staggering. When you first look at it on the surface, it looks, oh, there's not much difference. You start digging into it, yeah, significant difference, significant. So anyway, kind of cool. Mike got his. Oh, I'm sorry, John. You just clicked on something. What did you do?
Let's talk about this for a second. Yeah, flipper, because we were talking about designing with someone looking over our shoulder or whatever. When he sent him the bill, he balked at the bill because he thought it was all done. You guys got any advice for that?
Give your mouse to the person complaining about it and said, "Here,
yeah,
okay, yeah." you haven't sat through, you haven't sat through all the classes and done all the training and the pain I've gone through to learn how to use the software. That usually shuts them up pretty quick. And it's not just that, it's just not the tool that you're working with. It's your knowledge of how to put a design, a building together. So
Right.
Chief's just part of it. It's just a tool to get your ideas on to the computer.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Chad's got a comment on it.
Yeah, there's you guys talk about this at the summit, and the nice little segue there, but really it's about vetting your client, helping them understand who you are, the services that you provide, because when you get those clients, and I had one this week, potentials anyway, they come in and they just kind of think it's an app on the phone level almost, that it's just does it for you. Don't you just punch it in and it just creates? And no, it's not. We really do have all the fantastic tools that it gives us to be able to create with. We still have to make everything, and that's an understanding you got to start off with. And then I do like to, sometimes we'll slow the process down and bring them in occasionally to look in a very unfinished drawing as we start to work, and kind of put on a show of how difficult it is in a way, and that kind of balances the playing field when we're talking to them. So yeah, you do have to educate your client that this is really good hard work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the Dan from 10 years ago, huh? I did videos 10 years ago. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
They were on VHS tape, but yeah.
Yeah, I did those too. Anyway, but yeah, thanks, Mike. It's a good comment. It's a good reinforcer for me to, say what's on my mind. John has a question. Is 1 week attendance an option? Absolutely. So if you want to come for part of the summit, you can, but you need to call me and we can talk about it and when you'd want to come, because we get there Monday and Tuesday. Then we do training Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday's a day off. And then we do training Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, we leave. So yeah, if you want to come for the 3 days or 2 days, give me a call. We'll figure something out. So we have room. I have room in there for people that aren't staying with us to come and you don't have to stay on the property to join us. You can come for the training, come for the food, come for the hanging out, and then go back and stay in your hotel or wherever you're staying. The only caveat with staying for only part of it is you might end up having to stay in a hotel, because priority goes to the people that are staying for the whole event, for the rooms in the building that we're staying in. But other than that, other than place to sleep, you're welcome to come and enjoy the whole event with us in part if you'd like to. So please check it out. We've got 2 people coming. Well, 1 person coming for all 5 days, but a guy just signed up for 3 days. So we're flexible. That's part of being in the remodeling business. We're flexible, man. We figure shit out, stuff out. I did it. I swore again. Dang it. Sorry. Beat that out.
One other thing that just occurred to me that was really valuable about coming is that I got to play with everybody else's hardware and mice and smart space mice. And you can test drive a couple $1,000s worth of other people's hardware before you commit.
Yeah.
That is really helpful, especially if you are the one that is personally funding your, hey, maybe this mouse is going to make my life better. Well, it's also could be a $500 mistake.
Right.
And
well, you're not only test driving the hardware, but you're also that person who owns that hardware is right there to help you understand the good, the bad, and the ugly too.
Exactly. And just be like, oh, by the way, don't forget to do that. This training software that comes with, or else you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
That is invaluable when you have a very, tight budget that you're sticking to for what you're going to buy next and coming up. You could talk to people about, hey, does this gaming computer work well for you? They might say yes, but I know I'm going to have to upgrade it within a year. Well, then that's probably not the one you want to invest in. Right. And of course, we have Renee's super computer geek mind at our disposal at all times, which is
awesome.
Yeah, well, it was that. I knew Renee was going to bring an external GPU, and I was running a M2 MacBook Pro, and I wanted to see whether I could make use of an external GPU with Chief. So, you know, we hooked it up and played with it, tried to get everything to work. And it was, you know, so that's one of the things, Aaron, that is fascinating about the idea that everybody comes with these different levels of tools. And one time Dan brought 3D goggles and we're all using those. And, you know, there's a lot of interesting things to play with.
Yeah.
Ooh, that reminds me, I need to bring our Oculus set.
Oh, there you go.
Will work, hopefully.
Yep. And John can show you his new MacBook 4.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, John made the switch.
I did. I went some people will say I went the wrong way.
Nope, not me. Nope.
No, I have an M3.
As far as being able to be mobile and stuff, I'm loving it.
Yeah. And I always say, I don't give a shit what you draw on. And I swear again, sorry.
Mhm.
As long as it works for you, it doesn't matter. So whatever you're comfortable with. And Chief has developed their software to work just fine with the Mac now. So if you're a Mac user, go for it. Because I don't think you'll be sorry. The dark side.
We'll have an Apple breakout session at the summit.
All right. So anyway, I think we're done here. Everybody, thanks for staying on the call with us. It was really fun to just chat about this. And I hope we shared some good information. I mean, yes, it was meant to be an infomercial, so I appreciate that. But we wanted to share some good information. I hope you got something out of this. So thanks again for being here. Feel free to reach out to any of us anytime. We're always here to help. You know, if you just want to chat about something or if you need some help, we're here for that too. So with that, we'll sign off. Aaron and where'd Chad go? Chad left. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Aaron and Chad, thanks for being here. I know Margaret tried to log in, but she was having hardware trouble. So thanks for trying, Margaret. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for being here. You guys hang around for a minute. I'm going to end the thing and we can chat just a tad. Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon. Call me if you have questions. Bye.
Well,
oh, shoot. You know, if you haven't logged off yet, one more thing. If you're going to the Builder Show, next week and you haven't signed up to get into the building, make sure you go to the Chief Architect's website and go to their
Really?
They have the training for the thing, and you get free tickets to get into the show.
And
Okay,
Renee's planning on being at the Chief booth on Wednesday.
Yes.
he'll be there all day. So,
Right.
So you'll go to the chiefarchitect.com. Let me
Perfect.
let's look it up quick. I should have sent out an email about this. So you're going to go to events and training on their website and you'll see it. John, can you share my screen? Do I still have the share option up there?
You're on.
Okay, it's right here. So you go to User Center Events and Training, and you go right here to complimentary show tickets, and then that'll take you to the International Builder Show website where you just sign up for free. I think it's about a $200 value to get into the building. So it's really a good deal. And Chief has always done that. If you go there on if you're there on Wednesday, don't forget to join the where'd my thing go? Don't forget to join the Chief Architect breakfast that they have on Wednesday morning, because it's always a great breakfast and you get to learn more about the software and they'll always give you some info on what's coming up. So check it out and have fun at the show. There's 1,800 vendors signed up for that show, 40% more than last year.
Wow.
So, what? So yeah, so wear your good walking shoes.
Do you know if they are breaking out the building materials apart from KBIS this year? 'Cause the first year I went, it was all over the place.
Was it? No, it's always been pretty separate, I thought. Although I think Chief was in the KBIS building one year, but I think they're back in the International, the IBS building.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they just switch it around every year. So,
or maybe Aaron was just wandering aimlessly.
I was running like a chicken with my head cut off.
Oh no!
I wanted to see everything, and now I'm like, I just want to go see what I can get without a tariff that I need to use on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And went to wheelchair or hover around or whatever those things are called.
There you go. Anyway, now I'm going to end it. So I'll see you guys. Thanks. Bye.